my messages have been blowing up with questions, or asking anyway, to give a take on what's going on with the Elon Musk Twitter deal. This is something I've created a couple of videos about that are actually some of the more popular in the recent month or so, because I had a slightly different take on what I thought Elon Musk might be up to with trying to acquire Twitter. So if you want to check those out, links are in the description. If you're new to the channel, you know, CMQ investing, CMQ stands for Compound Money Quietly. We're all about building long-term wealth by thinking rationally and just trying to be better than other investors by being less dumb. It sounds it sounds like kind of pretentious, but it's really not. We're just acknowledging that all investors, we make tons of mistakes. So if we can make less mistakes than everybody else, we're going to do better. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on with this deal. I have a couple articles pulled up, but I also want to offer my perspective from someone who's not acquired a company like Twitter, but someone who's been through a lot of negotiations and what I think might be at play. The first thing I have here, though, let's see, with Fortune Magazine, I have a paid subscription, so you're getting some exclusive stuff talking about this deal, and I will read it to you. I've not read this completely, but I know what's going on, so I might skip around a little bit to give you a better watching experience, or listening if you're just listening. Here we go. So it says that Elon Musk says he won't budge on Twitter deal until the CEO of Twitter shows him proof of bot numbers. So in case you don't know, this deal is being held up because Elon Musk is not happy with some of the information he was given about the bot situation at Twitter and what percentage of the active user base is bots. Let's get into it. So Elon Musk has said his $44 billion deal won't move forward until the company's CEO, who I'm going to butcher his name, Parag Agrawal, proves that, I'm so sorry, by the way, I'm such an idiot. It proves that fewer than 5% of the social media platform's users are fake accounts. Doesn't seem like that's much of an ask, right? Responding to a tweet claiming the billionaire Tesla co-founder maybe, and I say maybe, looking for a better deal, Musk said his offer was based on Twitter's SEC filings being accurate. The company said in filings earlier this month that it estimated spam and fake accounts made up less than 5% of its active, monetizable daily users. But Musk said in his tweet on Tuesday that the actual figure could in fact be well over 20%. Interesting. The proportion of bots on Twitter has apparently become a point of contention for Musk recently, with the world's richest man, I love how they say that, by the way, just FYI, with the world's richest man announcing last week that he had temporarily put the deal on hold as he waited for details of how Twitter had calculated the rate of fake accounts. He said at the time that he was still committed to the acquisition, but added that his team would conduct its own review of a random sample of 100 followers of Twitter's verified account. That's like a really small sample, though. Was he serious about that? Okay. Later, Musk said Twitter had contacted him to inform him that he had violated a non-disclosure agreement with the company by revealing that his sample size was 100 accounts. So it sounds like this is a little bit of gamemanship when you're now going back and forth. Musk's latest revelation comes a day after he replied with a poop emoji, always mature, to a series of tweets published by Twitter CEO, in which the Twitter chief laid out how the company blocks and removes fake accounts from the platform. In an interview with the All In podcast on Tuesday, Musk said he was being told there was just no way to know the true number of bots on Twitter. Quote, "You can have an account that looks exactly like a human account or is being operated where one person's operating 1,000 accounts or something," he said. But that person can only buy one toaster. They're not going to buy 1,000 toasters. So you care about unique, real people that are on the system. It's fundamental. And just to add a little color commentary here, the reason for that is the majority of Twitter's revenue comes from advertising. So advertisers are attracted to platforms where they can reach real people, not just a big audience size, but audience consisting of human beings. Doesn't seem like a lot to ask, but we live in a weird world. I mean, the comments on some of my YouTube videos, it's insane how, one, realistic they are, but two, just like I'll publish a video and 5 minutes later there's like 35 comments, and it's all just this nonsense about thanks to expert trader, Bill Shaheen, like now I'm able to, or like Susie Warbach, I don't, just random people like talking about this stuff like it's real. Anyway, not that you care, but if you ever notice, check out the comment section sometime if you're just curious about what the bot game is like nowadays. It's definitely on a different level. Okay, so he says that here we go. Sorry, back to the article. Elon Musk questioned Twitter's claim, as we know that more than 95% of its active users are real, unique human beings. And he told the podcast host that he thought the number of fake accounts was probably 4 or 5 times higher than Twitter estimates. The lowest estimate would probably be 20%, he said. A lot of smart outside firms have done analysis for Twitter and looked at the daily users, and their conclusion is also about 20%, but that's a lower bound. Musk noted that his recent tweet about buying Coca-Cola so he could put cocaine back, what is this, serious? So he could put cocaine back into the drink was the platform's most liked tweet with just under 5 million likes. Twitter says the monetizable daily active users is 217 million, so why would it be that the most popular tweet ever is only 2 or 2.5% of the entire user base? It's a good question. This seems a very, very low number, he said. How is this possible? Surely there's something that 10% would like, not nearly 2%. And this goes actually back to my thesis about why he's buying it. I mean, this is a huge distribution channel for Elon Musk and by default Tesla. And so by having, if he can get control here and clean this up, he has a much more reliable way to reach the masses, and he'll save a fortune over the long haul on, or I should say, forget saving money. He'll create, billions and billions of dollars of media value. So anyway, check out my videos if you're interested, because I go in depth and I have gotten a lot of great feedback. So I want to make sure you're aware of that. No pressure, but I would love for you to check it out and also subscribe to the channel. But we're not done. So let me make sure, if I haven't earned your subscription yet, let me try to earn it now. Okay. Where were we? Yes, Musk added, something doesn't add up here, and my concern is not is it 5 or 7 or 8%, but is it potentially 80% or 90% bots? Seriously? I certainly know there's some real people on Twitter, but is it in order of magnitude? So now we get into, is Musk getting cold feet? And this seems to be the narrative that, I won't call them the anti-Musk crowd, but let me put it this way. There are some very powerful people that don't want to see Elon Musk have, the controlling say in a major social platform, or be the controller of a major social platform. Analysts at Wedbush said in a note on Monday that they view the $44 billion Twitter deal as less than 50% likely to get done, dubbing the bot issue a dog ate the homework excuse for Musk to bail on the Twitter deal or talk down a lower price. That second thing is the ding, ding, ding. This is negotiation. I don't think he's totally bluffing in his concerns, but at the end of the day, we're talking about a potentially $44 billion transaction. If he can knock off $1 billion or $2 billion, that's a big win. Our view is that while Musk is committed to the deal, the massive pressure on Tesla's stock since the deal was announced, a changing stock market and risk environment in the last month, and a number of other financing factors has caused Musk to get cold feet, with the bot issue not a new issue and likely more of a scapegoat to push for a lower price. Well, it's a new issue if we're talking about 20% or more of the active user base being bots. That's a big issue. You're talking that, if he didn't know that beforehand, it's a big deal. And I don't see it's a big deal that he's bringing it up now. It's maybe not publicly, but it's Elon Musk. This is what he does. The Twitter board is caught in a quagmire, as if they do not accept a lower price after negotiations following the bot issue scrutiny over the coming weeks, and Musk does actually walk, the stock would likely see a sub 30% level with a broken deal in this shaky market backdrop. Oof. So hopefully no one that watches this ran off and bought Twitter just because they thought Elon Musk was buying. If you did, don't beat yourself up. Just don't make that mistake again in the future when there's some other buyout potentially. And it's an easy mistake to make. I hope you didn't make it, but if you did, just learn from it. That's a big thing about being a CMQ investor. It's about rubbing your nose in your own mistakes. Our brain has a funny way of forgetting the dumb things we do because it preserves our ego and for other reasons. But I always try to write my mistakes down so I don't repeat them. And that's one thing as an investor, you can get a great advantage just by being a little bit less stupid than everybody else, and we're all stupid. You can get a much better long-term result, and that's what we're after. So anyway, what are your thoughts on this deal? I have a few more thoughts I will add here in a second, but just a reminder, I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. Give this a thumbs up if you haven't already. Just go ahead, hit the bell when you subscribe as well. Just going to ask, do all sorts of stuff for me. But here's my thoughts. I haven't negotiated a $44 billion deal anytime in my life, but hopefully when you're doing a negotiation, everyone has a win-win mentality. No one's trying to, screw somebody over or get off on somebody or whatever the case, whatever lingo you want to use. But this, to me, this seems like gamemanship. I think Elon Musk definitely wants Twitter. I think he can afford it. Long ago, I doubted his ability to be, the CEO or involved in so many companies and be successful. I was totally wrong. I think he might be an alien. That's a whole nother video. But look, these deals, a deal is never done till it's done. There used to, an expression in the startup world that I remember learning when I was younger was, the money isn't there until it hits the account. The VC funding, you haven't successfully completed the round until you have the money in your bank account. And I think you could take that same idea and apply it here to a acquisition. It's not over till it's actually over. But obviously, people as humans, we get ahead of ourselves. We start thinking about what it's going to be like when he owns it. But if Twitter does have this many bots, I think it brings up a bigger issue. I mean, the bot economy, I'm going to call it that, it's out of control. And I don't know how that's solved. I don't know. I had my personal Instagram. I had someone create like almost an identical profile just by changing one little thing with like the name, but taking all my photos, all my stories, and then, one by one DMing my actual friends. And this is not an account that I, promote. This is just me. Oops, lost a little light. And in doing that, they were able to get some people to click on some spammy links because they thought it was me. It's like they took my good name and they took advantage of that. It was really violating. And I think, if this starts a broader conversation about bots, I think that's a good thing because, it's not just Twitter that would be affected by this. This is YouTube. This is Facebook. This is everything. There's a lot of fraud online. And I think that the more we can unearth and the more we can talk about it and not basically make it where it's not acceptable, I think that's a good thing. Will this deal get done? I think so. I'm going to say yes. What are your thoughts? So let me know in the comments. I appreciate you watching the video. For CMQ Investing, my name is Chris Franco. Thanks again for watching. I hope you'll subscribe, and we will talk soon. Later.